The question 9 is interesting topic. It is to find the magnitude and direction of torque and also to find the area of a parallelogram all by cross product of vectors. The cross product of vector can be solved in calculator, but we need to know what are the values to be substituted. Let's look at this problem. A restaurant server applies 50 newtons of force to open a door. You can see this is the door here. The figure is very important to be analyzed. Find the magnitude and direction of the torque about the door's hinge, say along this side, hinge, right? Which is the part that sticks to the wall. Now here you can see the force is how much? 50 newtons. It is along which direction? Along the x-axis, but in the negative side it goes. You can see resulting towards the back side. So first thing what I'll write is I'll write the force vector, okay? Force is given by, it's going backside minus 50. And then everything else is zeros, right? That's very easy to denote. But what about the directed distance r? Because the torque we know is given by r cross product vector of f. R is the directed distance. And then over here we have the force, applied force basically. Force is very easy to get. Now, what about the r value? Angle is known, okay? Now, what is happening is they have not told anything. In the figure only you can see here, this is the angle 10 degrees and the length of the door is 0.91 degrees. Imagine you're pushing the door. Will it be going along the z-axis up? No, it's not going to flip like this. It's not going to turn. What's going to happen is it's going to go back. So from the y-axis, it's going to go back towards the x-axis, isn't it? So basically, you can over here, see this is 10 and over here this is the distance. And so now along y-axis, the component, one of the resulting component is 0.91, the magnitude, and it's along this line, the angle is formed, it's cosine 10 degrees because that's why it's cosine. But what happens along the x-axis over here, it'll be 0.91 sine 10 degrees. That's it. So now over here, you can just write them up. It'll be, see now since x is in the negative axis, you can put minus 0.91 sine 10 degrees. Okay, we are resolving along the components. That is this. And over here, the next one is y, 0.91 cosine 10 degrees. And lastly, what is the x? Z, the height, vertical height. It's nothing, it's 0. So this is it. Over here, it's the vertical. I hope this is clear. This is very important to get. It will be there in the figure. You should just analyze and see what's happening. Door is along the z-axis. It will open, it's only the y and the z-axis are, x-axis are involved in this. So therefore, z is 0. Now we got the two things, r and f. Now you just have to find the cross product. Now since it's electronic part, I'll just do it in the calculator here. In order to solve the cross product over here, r cross product f, in calculator, you need to use the mode and 8. That must be in vector mode. And you need to put in the first vector. Let me choose vector 1, a as r. What is r? Okay, the dimensions are 3 because 1, 2, 3, it's 3-dimensional, isn't it? Minus 0.91 sine 10 degrees, close the bracket. The answer is over here. It'll automatically calculate it for you. Then it's 0.91 cosine 10, close the bracket, and that's also done. And lastly, we have 0. So now press AC. Don't go to mode and 8 anymore. Don't click on mode. It's done. Now, in order to see the vector mode, see it's already on, right? How we can go is shift and 5. This will be the vector mode. Now, very important thing, the values of angle are in degrees. So you have to have D unlocked in your calculator. If it's not, then you need to press shift, mode and 3 for degrees. Default mode is always degree. Now let's go to fill in the second vector. Shift, 5. Don't press 4. 4 is if you're only typed in a vector. It's not typed, so it's a dimensional error. You need to first save a vector. Shift 5, press 1 for dimension. And which vector you want to save? Vector B, because I already saved vector A as R. And now the dimension is 3. Now let me type it out. Minus 50, 0, and lastly 0. Let me press EC. Now both the vectors are saved. Now I need to find the cross product. How do I do is shift phi, which vector? R, that is vector A, cross product shift phi 4. Cross product is just by multiplying. Now you see the answer is over here. So that is the answer. That is, you can see, now if you take not the exact value, see we have taken the exact value. If you round it off and take it, you will get 45, I believe. Let me just check that out. Let me just go back, shift phi. I will just change the dimension of the first vector, which was over here. I just type in these values, the solved values. See, they have rounded off to only 2 decimal point, minus 0.16. And over here it is 0.9. And now let me try it. Shift 4, 3, cross product shift, sorry, 5 and 4 over here. Yeah, so you can see that is what they have done. I was just wondering what happened. So if you round it off, you will get this value. Hope that's clear. And you can see the z-axis is the hinge basically. The door is parallel to the z-axis along the hinge by 45 degree, a magnitude of 45 degree Newton meter. Now the next problem here, we have a weightlifter doing bicep curls, applies 212 Newton of force to lift the dumbbell. Now you can see lifting dumbbell, where is the force going? It's up and down, right? So I'll directly write force, which is easy to write. It'll be 0, 0, force lifting upwards. It's 2, 1, 2. So that's the force, the vector. Now what about the directed distance? Torque is R cross product of F. So what about F? This is the arm. The distance is how much? 0.356. And she begins the bicep curl with the elbow bent at 15-degree angle below the horizontal in the direction positive x-axis. Okay. So here, now you can see this is along the y-axis, right? But we are dealing with this one. It's positive towards x-axis. It's going like this. Okay. And we have the force which is along, she's doing going upwards, so we need to resolve it over here. Now remember, in such case what happens is this is 15, so what will be this angle? It'll be 90 minus 15, that's 75 degrees, because we're not dealing with the horizontal, not dealing with the y-axis, we are dealing with x along the x-axis and the z-axis here. So here when we find the r, the directed distance, the y will be 0. This one, first one will be 0.356 sine 75 degrees. And 0, and then over here 0.356. And what is this? A cosine, because it's along the x-axis, z-axis, right? So it's 75. So that's it. Now this is the positive x-axis going towards the resultant. Over here you can see this one and this one. That's the resultant vector. So now we have to just find the cross product of these both. Here again now we are doing a new problem, so we can go to mode 8 and the first vector, it's dimension 3, 0.356 sine 75, close the bracket, and then it's 0 here, and then we have 0.356 cosine 75 degrees. And that's done. We have inputted it. Press AC. Now press shift phi and let's put the vector B. Now not that, you need to press shift phi 1 and option 2 and now dimension 3, and now type this out, 0 0 2 1 2. So the both are typed in. Now we can find the cross product by just multiplying those both vectors, shift phi and 4, and the answer over here is 0 minus 72.9 and 0. Let's look into the answer. These are the two vectors which we got over here, and then when you solve it up here you can see it's negative 72.08 because we have taken the exact values. Now if you had not taken the exact values, then you would have got the same answer. And we can see the magnitude and direction of the torque. It is along, this is the answer which we got, parallel to the negative y-axis, because we got the negative sign over there. So that's how we solve this problem. And now to find the area of parallelogram, it is so easy. All you need to remember is the formula, that is the cross product of the vector u and v, and then find its magnitude. Okay, everything can be done directly in the calculator, so I'm just going to use the calculator. If you want to remove all the saved vectors, you can press shift 9 3 equal AC and clear it off. Now all the saved vectors are gone. Now you can start again. Mode 8, let's put in the vector, first vector, that's 1. Dimensions are 3. It's 2, -5, and 3. What about the next one? Press AC. Let's go to mode. Sorry, not mode again. It's shift phi 1 for the dimension. Which vector? Second vector, and the dimensions again is 3. So then here we have to type in 4, 6, -1. Okay, both are saved. Now shift phi, we have to do the cross product of these two. So I'll do vector 3, that is vector A times shift phi and 4. Now this is the answer. Now this is not the final answer. You can see this is just the cross product of these both. But the area is basically, we have to find the modulus, the magnitude of them, right? How do you find the magnitude? Magnitude of this is basically square root and squaring each one. But instead of doing all this, I'll show you in the calculator. If you press shift and phi, you can see the 6th option saves your vector answer. That means whatever the answer you get in vector is already saved. Now if you multiply or do something, addition or something, it changes. Now all you do is shift and HYP gives you absolute value. Absolute value is modulus, right? Then press shift phi and type in the vector answer and press equal to, the answer is 37.27. This is how easily you can do any problem. Let me even show you for this. Mode 8. Let me put in the vector A. Dimensions are 3. So it is -9, 1, and 2. Now once that is done, press AC, shift phi 1 to fill in the dimension of which matrix? Sorry, vector. It's vector B. 3 dimension. Now 6, -5, and 3. Now both are saved. All I do is shift phi 3, cross product of shift phi 4. The answer is obtained here. This answer is not the final answer. You need to press shift HYP, that's for the absolute of modulus, finding the magnitude basically. Shift phi and 6, the saved answer is over here. So the answer is 56.6667 or 56.7 units square. So this is how you can solve any of these problems easily in the calculator. Try the other problems by yourselves and you can see how easily you can find it. Over here the values are 6 -2 5, 5 -4 8. Since it's electronic part, you do not need to do any of the steps. Just use a calculator and solve all these problems. Even over here, and that is it. That's the end of question 9.